Okay, so good morning. We're working on chapter 2 today. It's our first section of chapter 2. So we'll be doing conditional statements. It's one of my favorite sections. Just to kind of forewarn people, the conditional statements, it's logic. So it's not very traditional mathy in the traditional sense. But it's really critical thinking, and if you like this type of thing, you might be interested in the field of law or being a lawyer, something like that. If you hate it, it's only going to be a day or two, so don't worry. Okay, so make sure you put the date, whatever the date is. I'm not putting the date because I'm not sure when we're going to get to this, but probably in October. So date and topic in the upper right corner, that's 1 point. Don't miss the easy point. All right, then you're going to put your essential question. How is logic and reason set up and used in geometry? Then for learning targets, since we're in chapter 2, everything will start with a 2. So on learning target 2A, I can identify, write, and analyze conditional and biconditional statements, which we will go over. Okay, for our question, what is a conditional statement? And then our first vocabulary word is conditional statement. So what is a conditional statement? It's basically a sentence or a statement written in the form of if something, comma, then something. The first part, the if part, is called the hypothesis, or P for short, because who wants to write out hypothesis all the time? Okay, so the if part is called the hypothesis. The end part, this got a little bit cut off, so I'll rewrite it, but it's called Q, and it's called the conclusion. Okay, so I gave you sort of an example of a conditional statement. Here's an example. So it's written in the if-then part. If a triangle is right, that's my P or my hypothesis. If a triangle is right, my conclusion, my Q, is then a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Then the Pythagorean theorem would work. Okay, so that's what we'll put for now. So make sure you write all that. I know it's a lot, but you need it all. So conditional statement is written in if-then form. The first part is the hypothesis or letter P, and the second part is a Q. And this arrow means if P, then Q. So that's kind of the symbol for a conditional statement. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to try to maybe cover up some of this stuff so it's not all so overwhelming. So the next vocabulary word is called negation. So just like in English, it's like a negative or the negation. So for this whole page, I put, and I would like you to put as well, this is going to be our conditional statement. If you do well on the test, that's our hypothesis, our P. If you do well on the test, then you'll get a good grade. That's our conclusion. So the negation of that would be if you don't do well on the test, you won't get a good grade. So you're making them both negative. You won't. Oops. That's not enough room. Okay, so you're making it negative. That's the negation. Okay. The next part is going to be the converse, called the converse. Converse means, I put in red, you flip the order, so you flip the P and the Q. So instead of putting Q first and then P, it's Q and then P. It's still written in an if-then statement. So if this was my original statement, if you do well on the test, then you'll get a good grade. So the converse would be, if you get a good grade, then you'll do well on the test. Okay, which is not necessarily true, but it could be. Okay, so that's the converse, you flip the order. The inverse, you're making both negative. So you're not changing the order. So it's, and this little sideways S means not. So if not P, then not Q. So that would be, if you do not do well on the test, then you will not get a good grade. That's called the inverse. The inverse, you're making them both negative. The negation up here, it's just making part of it negative. And it's not necessarily not necessarily for a conditional. Okay, the last one is contrapositive. So you're doing both. You're flipping the order, so you're flipping P and Q, and you're making both parts negative. So if not Q, then not P. So that would be, if we had our original statement up here, if you do well in the test, then you will get a good grade. That would be, if you don't get a good grade, then you won't do well in the test. Okay, and I put over here, this is kind of an important point, so I'll highlight it. Both the contrapositive and the conditional, they're equal. So they're both either true or both false. Okay, so if you need to, pause the video if you need any more time. All right, let's get into some examples. Okay, so for example 1, we're just practicing making a conditional. Remember, a conditional needs to be written in the if-then. So part A says parallel lines never intersect. So I'm going to say if you have parallel lines, then they never intersect. So we're just changing this into a conditional if-then form. Okay, and this doesn't mean that this is the exact only right answer. There's other ways you could write this. So try B, try C. I'll go over them as well. If you have a bird, I'm going to make this singular, then it has feathers, which I learned from Mr. Dowd is true. Okay, last one. If an angle has 30 degrees, then it is acute. Again, this doesn't mean that your answers have to be exactly identical to mine. This is just one way to change it into an if-then statement. Okay, let's move on to example 2. Pause the video if you need more time. Okay, write the negation of each statement. So it doesn't need to be a conditional, you're just writing the negative. So hopefully, I know this might feel like grammar or language arts. For part A, the ball is red. I'm just going to say the ball, and I'm writing it in red. Isn't that funny? The ball is not red. That's it. Okay, for part B, the cat is not black. So instead of saying the cat is not black, I'm going to say the cat is black, because a double negative in English is basically a positive. And same thing with math, right? A double negative number is positive. So that is example 2.